Hello, hope you're having a great day. This is going to be my March planner update. I have quite a few things to talk about and I'm feeling quite chatty today, so this should be a pretty packed video. I think I will start by showing you my daily journal. This is a TakeANote planner, and then we will just go from there. So in my TakeANote planner, I do daily prompts. If you want to find the prompt list, you can go to my website. I will also link it down below. But I just write it out and create this little flap so I can easily refer to it without going on my own website every single time. And for previous months, I do this sort of format where I put down an emoji washi strip and then I write February prompts. I didn't do that for March and actually April because I misplaced the washi strip sheet, so I will have to grab a new one from the office. But yeah, sometime in the future I will put down a little strip and then write down March prompts. I believe in my February planner update I talked about March 1st and 2nd because I remember swatching this ink, which has quickly become one of my favorites because it is just such a happy pink color. Okay, March 3rd, I started making a watercolor book for my nephew, which I actually still have here at home. Let me grab it. I keep forgetting to actually bring it to them, but this is what I made. I just used watercolor paper and watercolor paints, and it's like a little number book. So this says 9 notebooks, 8 eggs, 7 sheep, 6 sweets, 5 flamingos, 4 flowers, 3 teddy bears, 2 trees, 1 orange, and then 0 is the world without Luca, which is my nephew. So I gotta remember to actually give it to them. But that is what I was working on. And then I was also making some smoothies, a mocha smoothie. Okay, and then I have been pasting pictures at the beginning of every week because the TakeANote format has this like weekly overview, which I never know what to write there. So I decided to start pasting photos. So this was like my workstation. There were some like school kids fundraising for a field trip, so I got a chocolate to support that. Some flowers for my mom, and then this is Luca. He was trying green grapes for the first time, and I guess it was like a little bit sour, so he was making a funny face. And then March 5th was our 8-year shop anniversary, so I drew this like little banner. What happened here? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this just like got completely erased from my memory. I feel like it's some sort of like my brain shutting out bad things. But basically, March 5th was our shop anniversary. It was a big sale, so much hype built around it, and 1.5 hours prior to the sale starting, Facebook and Instagram, basically all of the meta things, just went down. Obviously in the morning, I was getting ready for the sale, so I tried to log into Facebook. Didn't work. Tried a second time, didn't work. And then I went on other social medias to see that it was actually down. Thankfully, like prior to the sale, obviously I made a lot of announcements and I sent out email newsletters, so most people were aware. So that was probably one of the most stressful periods of my month. So that's why I drew this emoji and I was like, bro. And then I drew my favorite iced coffee. I have been making a lot of iced coffees at home. And by making, I'm just saying like buying the pre-made iced coffee and then adding my own almond milk. And then I drew myself very happy jumping up and down because I had a good day. Not a lot of good days in March, so every good day was a big win. Looks like I had some new pimples popping up, which is great. Made some roasted veggies for dinner. And then I bought some stuff from Jet Pens and Wonder Pens. My mom had a procedure on Saturday, so I bought her a bouquet of flowers. And this is a doodle of this photo. So, yeah. Existential crisis number 295. This is a photo of some broccoli, and the sticky note says, "Do not touch my broccoli." This is kind of like an inside joke between my dad and I, so yeah. I made some black sesame cookies, so this was that. My friends and I went to a carnival, which was kind of a big fail because it was super crowded, and every ride I feel like would have been at least a 1 hour wait, and I was like, I do not want to be near everyone, so we left. And then this is my mom and Luca. She's reading to him, and I thought this was really sweet. This was a rest day. I used a bunch of these fun cat stickers that I got from JetPens, I think. Fourth coffee at 2 p.m. How my day is going. This was Pi Day, and then I think within like 2 or 3 days, I finished watching the Netflix series One Day, and it was so good. And then this afternoon, I got my nails done, made a yummy yogurt bowl, folded all of the laundries, and I designed all night. It was a good day. Here I doodled some tulips. Kind of like I typically outline all of my doodles, but for this one, I was like, it actually looks kind of good without the outline, so I just left it as blobs. This week, I baked some brown butter chocolate chip cookies with melted salt. These were A+. I got so much good feedback. I was joking to my friend that I'm like the neighborhood cookie fairy, because every week when I bake a big batch of stuff, obviously we like desserts and sweet things, but in general we can't really tolerate too much. So every time I bake, I just have too much stuff. So I just pack them up and I literally go around town and drop them off at people's doorsteps of my friends, people that I know. So yeah, everyone who tried these, I got very positive feedback from. Here is a photo of me at a cafe, or I guess like my spread at a cafe. And then this adorable little photo of my nephew with a little bucket hat. For this week, I wanted to do the 5 days of daily journaling video, which I think is a video prior to this one. So I was planning out what I wanted to focus on for each day. I saw my friend Lauren had a bad day, so I just like sent over some goodies. I really like this look. So I started off the day with the morning routines emoji washi, and then this is the evening routine emoji washi. This was a fun prompt. It was what does your name mean? And I never knew what my name Helen meant, so I just searched it up. Very sleepy. Here I just randomly decided to use my pink ink to write my journal entry. Some swatches of my Tombow dual brush pens. I already swatched them in my Hobonichi Cousin, but because the paper is different, I try to swatch them in all of my different planners. I think I had a really rough day on this day, hence this quotation. Okay, and then I made some chocolate crinkle cookies this week, which were really good. Bought some flowers to decorate the office table with. And this is my nephew trying broccoli. Tuesday, I was feeling a little bit crappy, just a mixture of things. So I wanted to do like kind of a reset for 48 hours. So I wrote down some goals. On Wednesday, I tried a tin of the King Oscar lemon sardines, and they were super good. And I felt the need to doodle that. And then this is the last spread of March. On this day, I woke up a little late, so that is why we have a panicked emoji. I went to Uniqlo yesterday to get some t-shirts for the summer, and I decorated the office with the flowers that I bought, and I put down this like creative juice emoji vinyl. And yeah, we are on to today. This is a holiday weekend, so everyone has a day off, and my parents are over at my sister's place. So those were all of my daily spreads of March. Next up, I'm going to talk about my reading journal, and if you notice my sleeves change, it is because I had to quickly run out. Anyways, this is my reading journal. I think the last time I showed it to you guys, the cover didn't have any decorations, and recently I as you can see, put on a bunch of vinyls. I had enough vinyls to cover the entire thing, but I feel like I will have future designs that I design that I would like better. So I'm just gonna build on it as I release new designs, if that makes any sense. Yeah, my current favorite is the Cool Beans one. But anyways, the reason why I don't really show this too much is just because I haven't added much to it, but I will do a quick little flip through. Oops. Yeah, that is it. I think the only thing that I added is the Lord of the Flies. I was about to say Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Flies book notes. And I'm still currently reading A Gentleman in Moscow. I read several books at the same time, so that is why I tend to work through them quite slowly. And my other issue is that since I read multiple books at the same time, I never know like how much space to leave for notes that I've already started, if that makes sense. So for example, I first started taking notes for A Gentleman in Moscow, and then while reading that, I started reading Lord of the Flies, and I wasn't sure how much space to leave for this book. And I feel like this remaining section isn't enough. So I have to figure out a better system. Currently, I am typing up some book notes on Google Docs as well, which I need to transfer into here. So it's like all over the place. I'm still trying to get used to it. But yeah, if you have a better system, definitely let me know. But that is all for my reading journal, really. I will definitely show you guys as I add more to it. And then another quick thing to talk about is my pocket bullet journal. I only have a few spreads to show. I believe I also did an entire video showing the process of this, so I won't talk too much about it, but basically I've been doing a lot of like doodling. I color code my work hours with like personal stuff, and then on the left side I just doodle stuff about my day, and it's a fun way to get creative. So I have 4 of these spreads, and then this is the last thing to show in this journal, really, and it's actually of this current week. I just did a continuous vertical layout. One of my customers got me the Archer and Olive acrylographs. They're basically like paint pens, and I've never tried them before, and they're super cool. They did take 1,020 years to activate because you have to like shake them and like press on the nibs. But once the ink came out, it's very opaque, as you can see. I did run into issues with the baby blue. Like I kept shaking, but nothing would come out. So that is why I just drew a little circle to indicate that there's a missing color there. And then, I don't know if you can see, I was lettering something and I made a mistake or like a smudge. So I covered it up with this compliment card that says, "Close your eyes and listen to music." And because it was music themed, I wrote down some of my favorite songs currently on the side. And yeah, that is basically it for my pocket bullet journal. I just use this whenever I have the inspiration, so it's not very consistent. Love it though. Okay, and then the longest part of this video is going to be about my Hobonichi Cousin. Okay, a little bit ashamed. As you can see, I haven't been too consistent with filling this out. The good news is that I have all of my steps tracked on my Fitbit app, so I can just quickly fill this out. And as for my workout, I am not going to fill it out because, okay, so the thing is, I have been going to the gym basically every day, but I haven't done any full workouts just because of my leg and then foot injury. So I felt like tracking things wasn't doing much service for my mental health because there will be that like added pressure. So I think I'm not going to fill out my workouts even though I've been going to the gym. But yeah, I will fill out the steps later on along with the chart. So there's that. And then for the monthly spread, this is what it looks like. pretty filled out, I would say. I think I've been doing pretty well with filling out my monthly section. For this year, I just decided to be as simple as possible. I will still, add a little bit of deco and add in fun things, but mostly I've just been keeping track of deadlines and super important dates. Okay, and then let's talk about the weekly section. I mentioned this recently on Instagram, but I have honestly not been feeling very inspired by the weekly section of the Hobonichi Cousin. With my planners and journals, I'm all about just like doing it only if it makes you feel happy. So there is like some empty spaces. If I don't feel like filling it out, then I'm not going to fill it out. But in general, I feel like I've been doing pretty okay with keeping up with it. I was really excited for this week because I got to use the emoji transfer stickers. You basically just like rub it. I think they're still in stock, but I think it looks really, really cool. This was the anniversary week, so I used the Finding Peace collection. And I did the plan with me on this. And this is also the kit that I'm doing the challenge. There was a bunny outside. But I'm also doing the challenge where I'm stretching out this kit across 4 weeks. So this is spread number 1, and then I will do the other 3 throughout the year. Very excited about that. This was a funny week. I sectioned this off, as you can see, like it's different from all of my previous spreads, but I forgot why I sectioned it off. So that is why it is empty. And then I was trying a different way of doing to-do lists and it just wasn't working out too well. So I again kind of fell off towards the end of the week because I wasn't feeling inspired. I don't know what's going on with me. Okay, this was an okay week. Although I put down this like clown emoji and I said can't be bothered with a sidebar sort of week, and I just blocked it off. I was having a very hard few mental health days, so that is why I wrote this like little entry. I tried tracking my workouts and stuff at the top, and then I didn't even bother planning Saturday and Sunday, so I just covered it with a piece of vellum, which I think is actually a fun little solution. Speaking of which, I plan on restocking the vellums maybe on April 6th if you're interested. But yeah, there's that. And then this is this current week, which I actually really love. I was color coding using my 2 DeAtramentis document inks, my typical black for work, and then I was using the document red for personal things, and I really like how this looks. I think the contrast is really good. As for next week, again, I have been feeling a little bit tired of my usual layout, so I think for next week I'm going to try something completely different, and we will see how that goes. I will keep you updated. And let's move on to the daily section. I wrote Hello March in this fun lettering, and I guess I did some grocery shopping, so I doodled in my receipt. Oof, I don't like this thread. Retroactive entry. Okay, I gotta give myself a little bit of grace. On this day, I just fell very ill, so I just obviously couldn't really do much. I finally watched the season 4 of the show on Netflix called You, so I made a few doodles of that. And then, as I talked about earlier, I was working on the little watercolor book for my nephew, so this was my planning for that. This chunky little panda. And then this was the shop anniversary, so I did this like fun lettering. I made a checklist for before the event and after the event because there were like distinct things that I had to do. And then a little reflection on the sale. And then here, I think I was either reading an article or listening to a podcast. So I was taking some notes, and then I also wanted to update my Spotify playlist. So I wanted to do a cleaning playlist, Stairmaster playlist, and rowing playlist. On this day, I learned of the term Friday Junior to reference Thursdays, and I thought that was the cutest thing ever. So I made this cute little doodle. some brainstorming, and then here I was writing a bunch more notes. Again, I think from a podcast. Just a long journal entry and some things that made me happy today. Let's see. Finished confirming a few exciting projects, and it is iced coffee weather. These were some ideas for the self-care cards collection, which I finished recently, and I think is also releasing next week as well. Exciting, exciting. On this day, I watched The Devil Wears Prada. I doodled some of the hairstyles and outfits, which I thought were fabulous. Some goals for this week, and then I saw on Google that it was like celebrating flat whites, so I had to write down the little wiki thing from that. Here I said, dude, I accidentally fell down the last few steps of our stairs. This is when I scratched my elbow. One of my customers sent over an adorable little crab fountain pen holder, which was so sweet, and she of course included a little note, so I just ripped it out and pasted it in my planner. I was filming the floral doodles tutorial for my YouTube, and after I filmed the video, I added these like cute little splotches and added some flower related quotations. So fun. This was Pi Day, which I guess super excited about Pi Day, so I wrote down a few things again from the wiki. This was the recipe that I used for the black sesame cookies, which turned out super good. It was basically like a butter shortbread, but it had sesames in it. Very nice. And again, as I said, I was watching the One Day series on Netflix, and after it ended, I made this doodle and this like little thoughts section. Such a heart-wrenching series. And then my friend came over and we watched The Call, which is a Korean thriller on Netflix. I do not do well with scary movies, so I don't know why I agreed to watching that, but yeah. And then one of my customers, Rebecca, sent over a little care parcel, and I pasted her note in here. This was when I filmed the 5 journaling ideas video, so I won't talk too much about it, but I, again, really love this pink ink. Here I was doing some book journaling, some people watching at a cafe. I baked the A+ brown butter chocolate chip cookies, so that was the recipe. Here I was listening to some podcasts and took some notes and wrote down a reflection, which since this day, some interesting things have come out about Dr. Huberman, which I do not agree with, which really is a shame, but yeah. Saturday, I swatched the new Tombow dual brush pens as well as the Document Red ink, and then I just wrote down some happy things and one sad thing. On this day, I watched a bunch of TED Talks, so I was writing down notes, and again, I was really obsessed with this red ink, so I did some color coding. And then Monday, it was a very tough day for me. Mentally, I just couldn't do anything, so instead of writing down a to-do list, I decided to just check in throughout the day with like happy things and whatever notable thing, so yeah. Tuesday, I was brainstorming some ideas for some notepads. Very exciting. Wednesday, this is a recipe for the chocolate crinkle cookies that I made. Very, very good. I learned of Egyptian dukkha. I think that's what it's called. It's like the spice mix. And I haven't made it yet, but I really want to make it. So I wrote down this recipe and some information about what it is. And then, as I said earlier, one of my customers gave me the Archer and Olive paint pens. So this was my first time actually trying to draw with them. And it was a bit of a struggle just because I've never drawn with paint pens before, but I really like how this looks. Just some little flowers and emojis. These are some swatches of washi tapes from Planner Monkey Co. And again, I just wrote down some check-in points throughout the day. And then this is today. I was doing some swatches of these pens that my friend Helen got me. So yeah, that is it for my Hobonichi Cousin. And I think that is it for this planner update video. I hope you had a wonderful month, and I hope you're excited for April 1st. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!